Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Knife's Meow, and today I'm going to do another little review for you. So this is the this is the TRM Neutron. That's probably what I meant. And this was sent by Casey. He sent me a big box of knives. There was an unboxing video that I posted up on the channel that you can watch and see my reaction. So this is the first time I'd ever handled this knife, and this is a knife that is very well loved by the community. This is by Three Rivers Manufacturing. They're a US-based company in Massachusetts. They're a small company. Everything, all the knives, everything is made here in the USA, and all of the materials are also sourced in the USA. So let me talk some specs, and then I'll get into the review part of things. So we have an overall length of 7 inches. We have a blade length of 3 inches. We have a cutting edge of 2.875 inches. Blade width at its widest point is 1.125 inches. And we have a blade stock of 90 thousandths. We've got a blade steel of 20 CV. And it claims to be around 60 to 61 Rockwell. So, alright. So I guess let's talk about the blade. So the blade is got a beautiful stone wash finish. Love, love, love the blade shape of this knife. Beautiful drop point. The stone wash is really, really nice. Has their little logo. Can't think of the word right now. It's on thumb studs. Extremely thin blade stock. It's not super thin behind the edge, but due to the blade stock thickness, it is a really, really good slicer. It's definitely comparable to the bug out. If not, I think I like this a little bit more than the bug out, actually. Just the blade shape in general. I really like the way this looks, and just the overall lines in this knife. Beautiful, beautiful. So I think the blade is, besides the overall profile of this knife, I think the blade is my favorite part. I just love the way this looks. And it's pretty much a full flat grind, just about. And then for what's cool about these knives, so if we get into the handle, what's cool about these knives is the fact that you can remove these scales without having to take the blade apart or the knife apart. You just remove these 2 screws and boom, off comes the scales. And they do make a bunch of other scales. You can pick them up on the secondary or from TRM when they drop, but due to them being a small company and that they're in high demand due to the knife world just going ecstatic over this knife. I mean, it's a super EDC friendly, super pocketable knife that's comparable to the bug out, and we all know how the knife world took the bug out. So this is just another wonderfully made US sourced EDC friendly knife. And so for the handle, it is extremely thin. You know what, let me see here, let me get my calipers again. Alright, so here are my Mutu Toyos. I'm curious what the, how thick these scales are, because, it is extremely thin. Wait. Okay. Wait, I forgot to show the camera. I wanted you guys to see. So, let's get to the widest point. So, 200 thousandths? Okay, so, 0.2. That's crazy. It's extremely thin, guys. Extremely thin. And that kind of goes both ways. So when you have a thin handle like how this is, and these edges are very sharp. Not very sharp to the point where it'll slice your finger open, but it definitely feels like it, at least with these scales. The ergos aren't amazing, but then again, this knife doesn't claim to be, the hard use folder that it's just really thin. So, if you're going to be bearing down on this knife relatively hard, you definitely feel it. It cuts into your hand pretty bad. But that's not really what this knife is for at all. This is definitely a lightweight EDC knife that's comparable to the bug out. Like I said 3 times already, it's just a lightweight, light use knife. And it definitely will do exactly what you want it to do. Cut the strings off your shirt, cut open some Amazon packages, all of those things. It can definitely do that for you. And it will excel. It'll slice through cardboard like a dream, assuming that it's sharp. So the action, let's talk about the action. So this particular one has an extremely light detent, and that's kind of where it got me. And I was a little disappointed because this knife is extremely easy to fail. Like, if you're not really trying, if you're not loading up on that thumb stud and like deliberately firing it out, you will fail it. Like, if I just like lazily, it just, there's like no detent on it. And I'm not sure if that goes across the board for all Neutrons. The couple people that I did ask that have Adams said that the action on theirs is great and that their detent is nice. But I don't know, you know, detent preference, you know, it's subjective. So they may like lighter detents. I don't know. I kind of just wish this had a little bit harder of a detent because these thumb studs are so good. That's another thing I guess I should have mentioned on the blade. I really, really like these thumb studs. One, I love the way they look, and they also come with little O-rings that you can put around it, which I actually really like. But just they're smooth and they're domed over, they're rounded, and the way that there's that little lip there so that you can put a thumb or an O-ring, it just kind of, you can hook the meat of your thumb, just, you know, where your nail is, you just hook onto it and you can just launch it, and it's just nice. It feels good. This does not hurt my thumb whatsoever. I've also built up a callus now, so like thumb studs don't hurt my finger as bad as they used to. But this is just well designed. Ultimately, like, if it weren't for the action, so say the detent was great on this knife. Say it had a crisp detent. I would love this knife so much more. But since this is my first impression of this knife, this is the first time I've handled it, I don't have the perspective to be able to say, you know, that's a big downfall. That's a big, like, no-no for me. That really bothers me. I mean, aesthetics is one thing, but if the action is shit, I don't want it. I don't like it. And I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this knife. I love everything about this knife. I love what this knife stands for, what it is, everything. I love the company of TRM, Marianne, and them, like, just everything. She is so cool. She's an awesome lady, and I really do want to support their company. But the action part kind of disappointed me, like, significantly. And I would love to be able to handle another one, to be able to see, to make the judgment call, because I do still want one. I still have hope. And I believe that this may just be this one that's like this. I mean, I'm hopeful because I still really want one. I would love to see some. I love those contoured carbon fiber scales. I don't really care for these carbon fiber scales personally. I just think they feel kind of plasticky and kind of cheap. And the edges are pretty sharp. Now, I know they are coming out with a Neutron 2, which is, it looks pretty similar to the, I mean, it looks identical to the Atom, just a shrunken down version of it. Where is it? I'm on their website right now, and it looks really nice. I actually think I like the TRM 2 more than I like this one. And that's another thing with TRM. They are just improving, constantly improving their knives, and they just strive, and they really listen to the community. They really do, and they have a wonderful Facebook group. If you go on there personally, I like started following them, and then I haven't gone on. I don't really go on Facebook. Facebook is just a bunch of drama, and I'm on Instagram and YouTube, and that's pretty much it. I just made a TikTok like a few months ago, and it has like 4 videos of my cats on it. So I'm not big on the whole social media game. I'm trying to, you know, start improving that aspect, but I'm content with just Instagram as of now. So TRM, they are a really good company, and you can ask 80% of the knife community, and they're all going to tell you they love TRM as a company. They have wonderful customer service, just who they are as people, just the company themselves. They're wonderful, wholesome people. And what they do for the community, they're just so giving and loving, and that's like a big, so the action part was kind of a bummer, for sure. But knowing what I do know about TRM, that action, it's just, I don't even care. I still would love to be able to support TRM just because I love what they stand for. And I also really enjoy the fact that this is a super lightweight EDC friendly knife. And of all the knives that he sent me, even though in the video of my reaction, I kind of held back a little because I was pretty disappointed in this knife. But I also didn't want to, you know, just just make a judgment call right off the bat without really experiencing this knife. And over the course of the couple weeks that I did hold on to it, I grabbed this knife more than any of the other knives that he'd sent. And it just kept making its way into my pocket for the exact same reason the bug out makes its way or the Delica makes its way into anybody's pocket. It's a small, lightweight, easy to use knife that you don't have to worry about. And I feel like this knife can definitely like hold its own. It will do anything you want it to do. I mean, if you wanted to use, I mean, I don't even know what you would consider hard use, you know, but it'll do, you know, anything you put it through for sure. And I know their customer service and their warranty is on point. And the fact that these are extremely customizable, I do really like that. And the retention on the clip, it's pretty much as deep carry as it gets, unless, well, actually the Neutron 2 has an even deeper pocket clip. But this is just fine. It has that basic, you know, 3-screw kind of Spyderco spoon clip. And this, honestly, I love that it's short. It's not like this, where, like, the clip is over half the length of the actual, you know, closed knife. It's similar to the bug out. That's the one thing I think everybody knows and loves about the bug out, besides its lightweight, thin blade stock, is the clip. I mean, I would put this clip on literally everything if I could. I really do enjoy this clip. I love that it's small. It doesn't need to be, I don't need a clip this long. I don't. And I think this is awesome what they did on the Neutron. It looks clean, simple. You know, there's no billboarding on the blade, which I do enjoy. And I actually really like their logo, moniker. Have Maker's Mark. I think it looks neat. It's different than everybody else's. It's not just, you know, I don't know. I just really like, and it's kind of textured. Ooh, boy, I almost dropped that. It's textured. I can't tell if this is focused or not. But it's textured in there, and it just looks really pretty. And the stonewash is one of the prettiest ones I've seen, besides the one on that Tucson, that TS264, which I'm a sucker for. And another thing is, like, having this knife and a few other knives that are completely stonewashed. Initially, I really liked that high polish, like how the Old Guard looks. I love high polish belt satin finish. I think it's gorgeous. But, I don't know. Stonewashes have really grown on me, and these kind of just glitter in the light, and they just, you know, it's really attractive. So overall, how do I feel about this knife? Well, I love what this stands for. I really like TRM as a company. That's something that brings me joy. I would love to be able to support them. If I could get my hands on one, I would. And I would love to be able to, you know, and the concept of being able to dress your knife up in whatever colors or materials you want, practically. I mean, they have G10, micarta, they have wood, they have, what's that stuff called? Not the Mexican blanket micarta. There's the, oh, well, whatever. There's different kinds of micarta. And I just, you know, being able to customize it and make it your own, and as, like, Slicey Dicey says, I think he says something like Polly Pockets or something, being able to dress his knife up different days of the week is kind of fun, and it is. That's, like, why Hinderer is as, like, successful. Not successful, but that's not why they're so successful, but I think that's a very, like, big reason as to why a lot of people like Hinderers, is the fact that they're so modular, and you can get all different kinds of scales. You can really make it your own, and this is, you know, I think this is that's a smart thing TRM did. Honestly, it's just awesome. And so yeah, could I recommend this knife? Definitely. I am a little hesitant just because I'm unsure, is the action like this on all of them? You know, I don't know. But I asked a few people, they said theirs is fine, so I'm just gonna, I think it's a safe guess to say that they are, you know, other detents on other knives are on their other knives is great, and I'd be willing to buy one. I think. Oh, actually, let me show you a couple size comparisons. I meant to do that earlier. So here is the bug out, and this is obviously extremely comparable. However, the bug out looks to be a little bit longer, and the TRM, the Neutron, is thinner. In the handle. The blade stock looks pretty much identical. Now let's look at let me get the Delica. So here's this. Here's the Delica there. And obviously the TRM is much thinner than the Delica. And then let's look at the Elementum. I think that's a good size comparison also. So here's that. I guess I should line them up pivot to pivot. And the Elementum is much thicker than the Neutron. And I think last but not least, I'll just go ahead and do a pair of 3. I'm sure most of you have already seen an Elementum, but yeah, not an Elementum, derp. TRM Neutron. They've been out for a while now. So here's the pair of 3. And obviously the pair of 3 is going to be much thicker. But that's what makes the ergos on the pair of 3 so amazing. I mean, once you have like some skinny scales, which these were a game changer, by the way. I should do a little review on these Cerberus scales because, oh my god. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if they're Cerberus or what, but just being able to do a skinny mod. And I love the way these feel. Anyways, okay. That's its own video. But, so yeah. Alright, so actually the price on these, they come in around $175 and go up or down from there. Considering this is a USA made knife, 20 CV, and also I meant to say this earlier, so Outpost 76, he's another YouTuber and he does a lot of knife testing and cut tests with some cardboard, and he has a pretty controlled test that he does. And from the ones that he recently tested, now I'm not sure if those were from recent batches or if they were older models or what, but from his cut test, it seems that the steel did really, really well. And 20 CV, honestly, based on a lot of the cut tests he's done, has been kind of disappointing. Same with M390, just because that steel isn't really meant to be mass heat treated, like in large batches. I think it definitely needs to be like a smaller batch to help with the heat treatment. So they usually run a little soft. And apparently this did really, really well. I mean, also blade geometry definitely plays a huge factor in that, but yeah, so I think that's really good to know. It says 60 to 61 Rockwell, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was 60 or 61. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I don't remember, but sorry guys, I don't know. I looked over at my cat, and then my brain went. So, it's $175 for a USA made knife, USA sourced materials. For $175, that's totally acceptable. They're a small company. They work their asses off to bring you the best product that they can. And I think, their customer service and with what everything you're paying for is really for the company. And where's your money going? Your money is going to a really wonderful, wholesome, knife company. And I think that in itself is worth supporting no matter what. And yeah, so if you like the knife, if you like the design, and you want to know where your money's going, USA, I definitely would recommend picking one of these up, especially even if you're not a really small knife EDC friendly person. I would still recommend this, and I want to handle another one, but I think I'm going to buy one myself. If I see one go up on the secondary market, I'm definitely going to pick one up. Alright, so I think that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much. If you like knives, if you like cats, go ahead, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and leave me some feedback down below so that way I can grow the channel. Alright, catch you on the next one, guys. Bye!